I'm Coach Natalie, and welcome to another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies. Today we're going to work on the cross collar choke and a related choke called the paper cutter. Both are done on the mount against a person using gi. One is, if you try one and it doesn't work, then you can use the other one. So let's check it out. Without my head on the floor. Okay, let's break it down. Whenever you're on the mount, sitting on your partner, or in this case your dummy, there's always a chance that you can be bucked off. Especially when the person on the bottom has an idea that you may be attacking them in some way. To stabilize yourself, first you're going to want to take efforts to not be bucked off. If you have long legs, you want to grapevine your legs behind your partner's thighs. If you have short legs like me, you're merely going to be content to pinch in your opponent's torso with your knees. Second move, you're going to cross grab inside your opponent's skis. You want to have the knuckles all the way to the floor. Third, you want to offset in some way. And I'm now going to put my head on the floor and move it all the way over to the other side of their head. The last thing, I'm going to actually push on the side of their head with my head, which opens up their gi a little bit. In general, what I'm doing is cross grabbing, my palm up, head on the floor, create some space, cross grab, hand knuckles or palm down, and I'm reaching in as deep as I can, really trying to touch the floor with my knuckles. The last thing I'm going to do is pull like this. I'm really pulling this way, and pull my hands in the direction of my chest. What that does is runs my side of my arms against their carotid artery. Again, get the mount, pinch the side of their torso with your knees in case they decide to buck you off. You're holding on. If you can, grapevine your legs behind their thighs, but if you don't have long legs, that may not be an option. Cross grab, palm up, offset to one side. I am now putting my head on the floor, offset, pull, like that. Now, as I've hinted at, the mistakes that people can make in this kind of a move is first failing to secure yourself. As I mentioned, whenever I'm sitting on someone, there's always a chance they could buck me off. If you're not quite sure what grapevining would be putting your legs, securing your legs under their legs so that they can't buck you off as much. The second part is that when my head is on the floor, kind of in a tripod, there's no way they can buck me further forward because my head's already on the ground, if you see what I mean. So again, pinch my legs, grapevine my legs, reach over, besides securing yourself, or in this case failure to securing yourself, the other problem that people sometimes have is a failure to reach deep enough for the choke. When you're doing a gi choke, you're not actually choking them with their own gi, with the fabric. You're actually choking them with the side of your arms. So in this case, reach all the way down so your knuckles are touching the floor. In this case, reaching in, again, knuckles should be touching the floor. And then what you're doing, again, you're pulling like this. Now, again, I'll do it in one, I'll do it with my head on the floor and then off the floor, and then we'll learn the next related choke. So, secure, in, without my head on the floor, secure, so that's what we call the cross collar choke. Now, anyone who knows anything about Jiu Jitsu will know that that may be the submission that you're looking for. So, of course, they're, trying to remove your hands, trying to, protecting their neck, that kind of thing. So, at a certain point when you realize, oh, this just isn't going to work, instead of having your hand supinated, you're going to merely turn your hand inside their gi so that it's pronated, palm down. Supinated, pronated. So the only thing now inside their gi is your thumb. Now, you're not going to get your head near them. They may think, oh, they've avoided danger. You're not going to be grabbing here, so you're just going to put your hand down here, palm up. Again, so paper cutter is a very simple, should be simple to execute move. As I've indicated, your hand normally for the cross collar choke is your palm's going to be up. You're merely going to turn your fist down so that your thumb is the only thing. Instead of this hand being over here, you're going to use it to just grab their lapel, hopefully down low where they don't notice it. The last move that you're going to do is you're going to simultaneously move this forearm across their throat until it hits the floor. At the same time, you're taking your other hand and pulling it towards you, tightening like that. Again. Okay, it's not working. The mistakes for this are similar to that you might make in the cross collar choke. First, the failure to reach in deep enough. If you're reaching here and then you go here but you're not touching the floor, your elbow could get all the way to the floor, and there's just no way that you're going to go farther than the floor. So you need to make sure that your hand is as deep as it can go. Again, knuckles to the floor. Second, I think that you want this to be a surprise. So you don't want to put your hands up here too much. They may start to think you're going to do a cross collar choke and get their defenses up. I think kind of keeping it down here is fine. The last thing you want to do is at the last minute pull the lapel towards you and then paper cut over their throat. Don't pull this over their throat and then start grabbing here, because then you've blown the surprise. You want this to be a surprise to them. Again, trying to go for the cross collar choke. Okay, this isn't going to work. Okay, that's fine. I'm going away. Not doing anything. Down here. Again, trying to do the cross collar choke. Oh, this isn't going to work. Okay, that's fine. You're not in any danger. Full down. No, just joking. Now I have some other chokes from the mount that we'll learn another time. But these are, especially the cross collar choke is a really simple one. And like I said, the paper cutter is a great plan B if the cross collar choke doesn't work. In any case, I'm glad you could join me for another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies. I'm Coach Natalie, and thank you very much. I encourage you to reach out to me on my Facebook page, and thank you again for another episode.